Shalom Akim, and to the Akwath as well out there. First and foremost, I want to say, call hello, Yahweh Shemal Shai. The honors be to our apostles, elders of great millstone who rule and teach well. All right, peace, blessing, salutation be to the elect out there, the hopeful elect. This is in transit lesson on my way to work. Wanted to go into basically a quick topic of application. Something I was thinking about yesterday, and really just in general, we all need, of course, this is not something that anybody in this truth is exempt from. It's not like this man or that man, he doesn't need to do this or that. No, we all need to apply the scriptures. That should go without saying. We shouldn't even have to really harp on that too much. That should be something that people already know and do. But us as individuals, being this flesh and falling short, making mistakes like we do, it's good to be reminded of these things. Okay, and of course that's a personal thing. Speaking first, I need to remind myself about these things. All right, because it's very easy to get carried away, and fall out the truth, man. It's very easy. That's why the parable with the sower, most of the people that in that parable got taken away. All right, because this truth is only meant for a select few, and those select few are going to sincerely seek the Lord and apply the scriptures and keep the faith until the end. And this is a constant battle, a spiritual battle, man, a battle within your mind. So you got to constantly fight to stay in this thing, man. Yes, it's about predestination, but somebody that's of the elect wouldn't say that, or not. Let me clarify what I mean by that. Somebody that's of the elect wouldn't say, well, if I'm of the elect, then I'm predestined, so it doesn't even matter. Well, an elect member wouldn't say that. An elect member is going to move with fear, with a contrite heart, because we don't know if we're predestined to be the elect or not. So the only thing we can do is move with fear and a contrite heart, be meek and continue to fight for Yahweh Shemal Shai. That's the only thing we can do. You see? But let me go ahead and grab this real quick. All right, Matthew 7:15, it says, beware of false prophets. And remember, I believe it's in 1 John 4:1. It tells us that many false prophets are gone out into the world. All right? You see all these different Israelite camps out here, and only one of them has the truth. Okay? And then, of course, the other couple that, teach the like doctrine. Okay? But majority of these Israelite camps out here, and these Israelites, period, that, know about Israel, because you got no camp Israelites as well. You know what I'm saying? They don't have the truth. Okay? So, so you got to beware. But it says, beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. So they put on this, false personification of being a righteous man, of being somebody that, the Most High is dealing with. But the reality is, they're in this truth for vainglory. They're in this truth for filthy lucre's sake. They're in this truth for some sort of alternative reason that's not righteous. All right, that's not, for the body. It's not for the Lord. They're feeding their own, fulfilling their own lusts of their belly. Okay. And also, there was another one. How Shai said, "It's like I'm gonna go and trying." I got sepulcher in there. Because this is the thing, and believe it or not, you have those type of guys out there. All right, you have guys out there that, when the weekend comes, they're a super brew. They're there yelling, the white man this, the white man that, and repent. But as soon as the next day comes and they're not around nobody and they're behind closed doors, they went right back to being a nigga. The Lord is not dealing with people like that, man. Okay? Now, I can't say I know anybody like that personally. And I'm glad to say that I don't know somebody like that personally. But there are people like that out there. And if that describes you, which you know what that means. All right, we're not saying the next day you're selling dope. We're not saying that. It doesn't necessarily mean that. You're just not conducting yourself according to the scriptures. You're being unruly. All right, maybe you're being slothful. You're not doing videos. You don't actually do studying or reading or work until towards the weekend. You know what I'm saying? You got to be doing this daily. Somebody that's lukewarm, somebody that may slander brothers, talk behind their back. Somebody that puts something else before this truth, is really what it ends up coming down to. All right, but it says, here we go. Matthew 23, I'm just going to hit the point, 28. Well, shit. This is all the point right here, but I'm just going to read this last one here. It says Matthew 23 and 28. It says, even ye also outwardly appear righteous unto men, but within ye are full of hypocrisy and iniquity. So that's why it's especially important to make sure that you're hanging around the brothers, man. All right, it's especially important to make sure if you're in the camps to, monitor brothers that aren't hanging around the brothers. Now you got to examine everybody, especially if you're a brother that has, people, has fellow brethren, under him that were set under him. You need to be mindful of that, okay? Because if there's somebody, that's supposed to be, they know fellowship is important and they're in the camp and all that. God dang, it's lucky. They're in the camp and all that, but they're never around. You want to be looking at him. All right, you got to put him under a magnifying glass because you got to ask yourself, what is this man doing? And that's why, of course, why the scriptures say examine first and judge, because maybe it's just a week where the brother has a lot going on or he's busy or whatever the case may be. So it's got, you got to figure it out and all that. But, that's why you got to inquire about these things, though. Because sometimes the reason they're not hanging around is because they put something before you, before the brotherhood, and before this truth. Maybe they're getting entangled in the cares of the world. Maybe they're, so busy chasing money that they neglect the brotherhood. They just want to chase a bag 24/7. They're not, nothing wrong with it, bettering your situation financially, but you got people that, they get caught up in the deceitfulness of riches. All right? People that get caught up with women, they putting a woman above this ministry. They with a woman all week, but they can't hang out with a brother for 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying? So you got to watch out for stuff like that. Because that's an example of some of these, man. It doesn't. This is literally telling you, man. There's people that appear righteous, on camera and even at camp and all that. But once the doors are closed, once they're not around you, you don't know what the hell they're doing. And that's where, because that goes for all of us, though. Because when we're behind closed doors, you need to ask yourself, are you conducting yourself like a man of the Lord? Are you truly applying the scriptures? If the Lord came back right now, could you say that you were serving the Lord 24/7? Not just on Saturday, not just when you're doing a video, Because we got to ask ourselves that. And that's the importance of self-examination. Because when you're behind closed doors, nobody's going to rebuke you because nobody knows what you're doing. Only you know what you're doing. So that's why it's important you need to examine yourself. It tells you what? Examine yourself whether you be in the truth. So you got to examine yourself and see if you're even still in this truth, man. Because the Lord can take the spirit from you just like that and you may not even realize it. And you'll start to notice if that's the case, or that you're becoming, slothful in the spirit or whatever, you'll start noticing that's the case when you look at when you examine yourself, when you notice, okay, I'm starting to not read as much, I'm starting to not do videos as much. I need to pick up on this. I need to pick up on that. I need to work on this. I need to work on that. A lot of brothers don't go to work with other brothers either. So that's another example of a place you'll be where you may do stuff that you shouldn't be doing, that you need to examine yourself. Okay? But it all goes back to what? Applying the scriptures. Okay? Applying them for face value, for what they are. Right? It doesn't mean you get to pick and choose what scriptures you apply. It means that you got to apply all of them. All right? The ones that you know to the best of your ability. Because remember, we say it all the time. This is who you are. Okay? You didn't wake up, one morning and you're just like, oh, well, you know what? I think I'm going to be an Israelite from the tribe of Zebulun today. No, you've been an Israelite from the tribe of Zebulun. The Lord is waking you up to that fact now, but you've been an Israelite. This has been your heritage since the get-go. This is how you're supposed to conduct yourself. You see? But this is one of my favorites. James 1:22. It says, but be doers of the word, which a doer, when you look up the definition of a doer, it's somebody that acts rather than merely talks. That's what it says. It says, but be doers of the word and not hearers only, deceiving your own selves. So if you know that there's things that you need to be doing that you're not doing, you need to be doing those things. If you know there's things you need to be doing because brothers have told you things you need to be doing, you need to do those things. Okay? Because the scriptures talk more about, it's not just all about making videos and even studying. It's about conducting yourself daily like this. Okay? Because when you're at work, you may be at work 8 to 12 hours a day. 8 to 10 hours a day. You're not going to be reading. You're not going to be watching a video, unless your job allows you to, do that. Or you're sneaking it, or whatever. But more than likely, you're not going to be doing none of the work. You're not going to be fellowshipping. Obviously, you're at work. So does that mean, okay, well, all bets are off? You can just act like a nigga? No. You got to conduct yourself. All right? You got to apply patience. You got to have faith. You got to have endurance. Okay? A lot of times you got to battle demons, man. You see? So this truth is about a lot more than just pulling out some precepts and going home. It's about applying the precepts that you're pulling out, man. Applying the precepts that you hear. All right? So, Lord, will let this edify to the elect. And this is really, a rebuke or an exhortation, once again, not to anybody specifically, but I know it's something that, all of us, myself included, need to hear. Okay? So, Lord, will let this edifying. I want to say, call Allah Yahweh Shemel Shai. Double honors to the apostles, elders, a great millstone. Peace, blessings, salutations be to you, brothers and sisters out there, man. Shalom.